So it's been, like I'm gonna say, it's been very busy these last couple of days due to the fact that, like I've stated previously in videos, work, and then also some things in my personal life, they're just getting out of hand right now. It's been kind of chaotic. I've kind of been slacking a little bit as far as uploading and as far as following my schedule. Uh, I'm not too happy about it, but I'm right now trying my best to kind of keep up with the schedule I've been having, but uh, it's been kind of chaotic as right now. But anyways, with that being said, it's day 10, so we're gonna do things a little bit different here with this video. If for those that at least watched last video, they kind of already have an idea what to expect. For those who didn't, well, this day is gonna be something different. As far as editing a photo, I'm not gonna be doing that today. I don't have a photo that I'm gonna be editing. Well, I do have photos to edit, but that's gonna be in the future, whether that's day 11, whatever the case may be. But as far as day 10, I kind of wanted to take this day, or more specifically this video, to kind of reflect back over the past roughly 10 days that ever since I've started recording this journey. I kind of wanted to reflect back, analyze, critique in a way the past 9 photos I've quote unquote edited. So that's basically the gist of this video. Again, no photo editing for this one, at least, right? So mainly what I'm just gonna be doing, since I have here my hard drive with all the photos I've edited over the past 9 days, that's what I'm mostly gonna be doing. I too also have a little journal right here to kind of note down any comments. Let me put it like that. Any comments I have towards these photos that I've edited. And then hopefully this video will kind of set the, how can I say this? Kind of set the boundaries of how the next 9 or 10 days are gonna go, right? It's probably what I have in mind. I already kind of have a few things I want to talk about as I'm going through this, but right now we'll just start off with going back to the first day. So the first one, this was the one with the squirrel. Now, I think already off the bat, what I did like about this photo, as I see it right now, even if I zoom it in a little bit, I like how in focus everything is in this frame, because I have been seeing, as far as, well, I try not to use the photos that are out of focus, but especially the photos that I have in my hard drive, you know, the failed attempts, we can call that the failed attempts. I try to take a photo before I finally get the right one. The majority of them are out of focus, because granted, I'm still trying to figure out as far as aperture, shutter speed, f-stop, all that shit. I'm still trying to figure that out, and especially for what's seen. So I'm kind of happy this came out in focus. So as far as with day 1, I think that could be already a good thing. The photo was in focus. Now, especially, I wasn't thinking of it when I recorded the video and when I edited the photo, because obviously it was my first video on this journey, so I wasn't really much thinking of it. And to be quite honest with you, if it wasn't pretty obvious, this was really my first attempt on editing a photo in Lightroom. For those that have seen day 1, yeah, that's a chaotic nightmare, to say the least, because that was roughly, 30 minutes of me trying to figure out how Lightroom works. I mean, granted, I'm still trying to figure out how it works, but nonetheless. I guess what can I take from this photo, analyzing it? I guess, I don't know. Maybe, I guess one good thing I did is kind of, it's gonna be probably the common theme with these past nine photos being that made the colors pop or bring the colors more to life. That's definitely one thing I've been seeing over these past couple of photos. Let's see, what's another thing? Maybe as far as I see, maybe what I could have done is possibly cropping the photo because even though it was a nice photo, I mean, I look at it, I don't know why I decided to add this off to the side on the right side. I don't know why I decided to keep that or include that, but it's no big deal. Um, I mean, really, as far as this photo stands, again, even though it might be something simple, it was for day one. I don't think it was such a bad photo. So maybe as far as right now, the photo wasn't focused, colors more to life, possibly cropping. That's really all what I've got to say for day one. As far as right now, as I'm recording this, maybe who knows? Maybe I might have a second opinion probably as time goes on. But as far as right now, maybe that's how it stands. So that concludes day one. Now, if we were to head to day two, yes, this is the infamous 50-minute long video that I'm sure a grand portion hasn't seen, but I don't blame them. So as far as day two, one thing again that I can say here, as far as because how it came out originally on the raw photo was heavily underexposed compared to how the final photo came out. So I was relatively happy about that. So I guess I wouldn't say I properly exposed it, but I guess I would just put I exposed the photo enough to kind of have that balance between making it look good as far as not having it underexposed, but at the same time making sure that the already exposed area, which in this case was this fucking sky that I took roughly 20 minutes on working, was not getting overexposed. So I think that's one critique I have. Maybe as I'm looking at it, and like I've stated on the day two photo, the I probably could have done a better job as far as with the cat's eyes, because again, if you guys were to see this cat in real life, I mean this cat's eyes were fucking blue as shit. So, but in this photo, it kind of came out gray. Yeah, could I have possibly done that? Could I possibly adjusted the? At this point, I would probably assume that I would have to use the color grading option, the one that I used last video. So possibly focusing more on color grading as far as for the future photos I may have. Granted, as far as right now, due to lack of time, really, due to my schedule, I still haven't had the opportunity or the chance to look at videos as far as how to properly color grade photos using Lightroom, but that may be that may be a good tutorial to look into. So then maybe hopefully that can possibly change my photos in the future. So that's one thing. Now, even though I could have really not done nothing as far as this photo, and this was one also kind of, I guess, observation that I took note of this, was that a portion of the fence was in focus while the other portion was kind of blurring in the background. So maybe for me, as far as when I'm taking the photo, when it's taking place, maybe prioritize, the subject, which is, well, like in this case, would it be the cat, would it be the fence, whatever the case may be, right? So prioritize your subject, I guess. Prioritize the subject, and to use the proper photo settings, whether that's being the proper f-stop, shutter speed, ISO, whatever the case may be. So that's definitely one thing as I'm learning, not just with editing photos, but just even taking them in general. I'm starting to get a little better understanding of how to take better photos. Not great photos, not amazing photos, but hopefully better photos. So, settings. Now let's see. Anything else that I see here? Because I do remember when this video was taking place, when I was recording this, I did try to use some masking technique, and if I recall correctly, I think I did use some masking technique on the sky, if I recall correctly, probably bringing the exposure down a little bit. But maybe as far as right now, I mean, if I look at this photo was relatively, again, really actually good in focus. It was just the bokeh that caught, some of the bokeh was catching the fence, while at the same time it wasn't, if that makes sense. Because like I said, a portion of the fence was in focus, while the other portion was kind of becoming blurry, as the background. So that's one thing to see. But maybe as far as right now for day 2, right now as it stands, as I'm looking at it, yeah, I think that's really all what I've got to say. So that concludes really day 2. Now, as far as we go to day 3. Yes, okay, this is the one with the colorful house in Mexico. So, all right, what would I critique this photo on? Because quite honestly, like I mentioned in this video, I was really already impressed with how just the raw photo came out, to the point that I was relatively close on just uploading the raw photo, but I just wanted to make some minor adjustments here and there. Let's see. Maybe because I can't remember what camera settings or what f-stop I I used to take this photo, but I'm sure if I wanted to, because maybe as I look at this, I would consider this photo, the day 3 photo, as in a way landscape, and I know for a fact that if I'm shooting more towards landscape, I need to dial the f-stop, meaning going towards more to f6 through f10 possibly, just so everything in the photo can be in focus, not just in this case, not just the house or whatever the case may be, but the whole photo, as far as the house, the mountain, etc., etc. So maybe, again, I don't really recall what f-stop I used to take this photo. I mean, I could look at it, but it'd be a hassle to look at it right now. But maybe, like I said, as far like the same thing I said in day 2, prioritize and use the right camera settings. That's what I would put, or proper settings, which is what I've written down here. So maybe I guess a trend that I'm going to be seeing here is just kind of the same things repeating over and over again. I don't know, maybe as I'm writing this down, maybe hopefully for the next 9-10 videos, I'll finally put that in my head while I'm trying to take a photo. Because I mean, like I've said, my goal is to try to at least take one photo, but maybe I get that a little bit too much in my head, that I kind of disregard all what I've been saying in these videos, or what I say, mentally in my mind, regarding of, oh, let's try to make these photos interesting. Look, as far as if I see something that's could be interesting, that's the fucking photo I'm gonna take. Maybe that's something I really do need to work on, because I don't know, but It's going to be rather interesting considering the fact with, again, with my time and my schedule, as far as with work, and then if anything else happens or is happening in my personal life, that's probably going to interfere with that, but I'm probably going to have to sit on that idea for now. But as far as right now, let's see, prioritize and use proper settings. Uh, Maybe as far as right now for this day 3 photo, because again, I already liked how it was. Maybe that's, I would probably just for the sake of it, just to put in another thing, just to familiarize myself more with the Lightroom tools, because like I said, like I've stated last video, I need to start really learning more the tools as far as what Lightroom offers. I need to really start using those because I'm sure with some magic touch, with a mix of all of them, I can make some pretty amazing photos. Because just right now, what I've been using, same basic detail, lens correction, maybe even calibration here and there. That's basically the four that I've been using on a consistent basis, right? As far as these past couple of photos that I've edited. So maybe familiarize with Lightroom. I'll put with Lightroom. I'll put just Lightroom tools. So as far as day 3, I mean, I really don't have much to say for this one. So if we go on and we head to day 4. Yes, okay. This was one that I actually really, really liked how it came out. So this is the sunrise one, also in Mexico. I guess one thing, especially if I'm looking at this bottom portion right here, since it was relatively dark, I don't know what shutter speed I was using, but maybe, well, at that point I wouldn't really blame the shutter speed because this was only brought up after the fact on while I was adjusting the sliders in Lightroom. So maybe that's only slightly exposed because on the fact that I've exposed the dark portions of this photo. So maybe as far as day 4 goes, because really as far as right now, I really don't have much to say with this photo. Just probably the same thing that I've stated with day 3 and probably with all of these upcoming photos. It's just familiarize the Lightroom tools or familiarize with Lightroom tools. That way here how can I say this? I can make my photos more interesting and in one way, shape, or form more amazing, more appealing to the general audience, if that makes sense. Because even though with this photo, as far as day 4, I really like how it actually came out. More as I'm looking at it right now, I actually really like how it came out. But I'm sure if I did some tweaks here and there using different techniques or tools that I'm still not familiarized with, I'm sure I could have made this just a little bit better. But, I think as far as right now, I think I did pretty good with this one. I think for right now, I think this is by far one of my favorite. One of my favorite photos. If it's not this one, it would probably be day 3 with that house as far as right now, right? But we'll see if I can make better photos in the upcoming videos. But anyways, so that's day 4. Okay, I definitely see this one. Okay, day 5. I already have some comments regarding about this one. So definitely, if I made it kind of crystal clear in the video, if I'm ever gonna take a photo like this, as far as reflections, I need to eliminate those reflections with the polarizer. Which, granted, for me, I do have a polarizer, but I don't know if it's not the best one. I really don't know. It's like, I think it doesn't even have one stop, if that makes sense. I'm not sure. I need to look it up. So definitely remove any, or if possible, all reflections. Of course, if it suits the photo, right? If even though that'd be highly unlikely, but if the reflections actually makes the photo rather interesting, then I guess you could make the argument you could leave it. But however, in this case, with what I shot and what I was trying to edit with, these reflections were really getting in the way. And had I done a better job when I was taking the photo, had I done a better job trying to eliminate those reflections, or even hell, even just moving where I'd been, maybe moving off to, I don't know, the other side of the street that the sun wasn't directly hitting the window, maybe I could have done a better job. So as far as with the editing, I don't really blame the editing, because if the, I don't want to say like this, but if the photo already came out like shit, no matter what changes you do after the fact, it's still gonna look like shit in a way. So that's definitely one comment that I have as far as with Dave, this photo. Don't get me wrong, like I said, I still like this photo how it came out, but like I've said, these reflections in a way really killed the mood, the tone, the vibe, I guess, from this photo. I was really devastated, especially now that I'm looking at it after the fact that it's been roughly a week that I took this photo and I've edited it. It's really devastating seeing what could have been, right? So definitely I want to remove any, or if possible all, reflections from windows if I'm ever going to do this, which I've already have thoughts or ideas regarding about possibly continuing this style of photography. So who knows, maybe even investing more in a higher quality lens, or a polarizer lens. Not a polarizer lens, but a polarizing filter. That's kind of been on the back of my mind for these past couple of days. I might lean more towards that. But just not only that, but if I get a proper and better filter, I can do way more things as far as in daytime and of course in nighttime. But I'm sure that's gonna be for another video. As far as right now, let's see. If we remove the reflections, anything else? I wouldn't say blurriness. I wouldn't say graininess. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad. However, maybe, like I've said, maybe pay more attention to camera settings. That's what I'm gonna put here, because in this case, since I took this on my 100 to 400 millimeter lens, I at this focal length, I need to have a fast shutter speed, because if I have it at roughly between 100 to 200, any photo I take, whether it's primarily focused on one thing or primarily focused on the thing that I wanted to focus on, any movement I have, it's just gonna fuck up the whole photo. So with this case, yeah, especially if you're going at that focal range or that focal length, you would want to raise up the shutter speed. That's sadly for me, I learned that probably way too late in some cases, because there could have been some pretty nice photos I had taken, but because of my dumbass not knowing that sooner, it was pretty much blurry. So maybe that was also something with day one, but that's something, like I said, hopefully in the future I pay more attention to, so I don't have this same issue occurring. So pay more attention to camera settings. That's how I would say it. Now, anything else that I see here? Not really. Again, primarily reflections, but I've already got that. And then mostly paying more attention towards whether that be in the shutter speed, or maybe hell, even raising up or even decreasing the ISO. Something to look out for. But maybe as far as day 5, that's really all what I have for this photo. Now, let's get that out of the way. Let's go to day 6. Oh gosh, okay. This is the infamous bird one, the one also in Mexico. One thing already off the bat, because I was bitching about it in the video, and I still to this day, even if it's posted and post processed whatnot, I still have that fucking issue with these purple portions of the leaves. I don't know what it is. It's probably because, again, kind of like with the repeating theme of this, wasn't paying too much attention towards the camera settings. So that is definitely something I do want to, again, put here. So more attention to camera settings, because I guess at this time, since this was roughly in December, I've only had my camera for roughly 3 months at this point. And within those 3 months, let's just say I wasn't as active as I guess a photographer as I am now. Maybe I would take a few photos here and there. Whether they were shit or not, I really wouldn't pay too much attention. Really, in all fairness, the time period when I started taking a shitload of photos was in my time in Mexico, which I think in just a span of 3 weeks, I took roughly 1,000 photos. Now, how many of those came out good and how many of those came out shitty? I don't think I need to ask you that. I don't think I need to ask you that, because I'm sure you guys already have a general idea. So, again, very unfortunate, but it is what it is at this point. I can't do much about it. The only thing I can do is to learn from those mistakes and to not do it again in the future, right? So, let me just finish up right in here. Camera settings. So we have that. Another problem I saw from here, but at the same time I really couldn't do much. But had I properly planned for this occasion, which, don't get me wrong, I did have consideration on buying a telephoto lens before heading to Mexico, but I was either between buying a telephoto lens or buying my action camera. I guess at that time period I decided an action camera. Did that serve me well? It's questionable. It's really questionable. I wouldn't say it didn't, but at the same time I don't want to say it did, which is why I'm just gonna say it was questionable. So definitely. As far as right now with what the gear I'm using, I think I'm now more prepared for, I think, every scenario. There could be some changes I could do in the future, but as far as right now, I'm more prepared for any scenario. Of course, if that scenario doesn't slip away from me, right? If the opportunity presents itself and I have the time to pull out my camera, put it in the right lens, adjust the right camera settings, and it could be good. But that's as far as, how things are really in the real life. That's majority of the time that doesn't happen, sadly. So even though there's no point on really me writing it, I still would want to write it because obviously that's just a comment I've had. So for the next comment or the next critique I would give myself for this photo, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself more as far as what are you going to be shooting, what scenarios could pop up, or whatever the case may be. As far as right now, I think I've done a better job preparing myself for, like I said, any occasion, but it's never too late or it's never too bad for a little reminder. So actually what I'm going to do now is just prepare yourself for any occasion. That's one. Okay. Anything else I would do? Maybe, like I said, again, understanding more Lightroom. Because even though I think I did a pretty good job with this, maybe I could have done a little bit better. As far as, I don't know, maybe underexposing a little bit more of the sky. Maybe, excuse me, maybe tweaking with the colors here and there, maybe. But again, just the general idea, understanding more Lightroom. That's as simple as I would put it. Understand Lightroom better. That's how I'm gonna write it down. Let's see here. Anything else? Any other critiques I would give myself? Let's see. Pay more attention to camera settings. We got that. Prepare yourself. Yeah. Understanding Lightroom better. Yeah. Let's see here. Anything else that I see that I could do better? Well, I'm sure there's a lot of more things I can do better, but I think overall, I think I got the gist of it. So that completes day 6. So we head on to day 7. Okay, so this is now the one with the airplanes. Now, already off the bat, as I zoom in, it is a little bit out of focus and it is a little bit blurry as far as, because again, the main attraction, quote unquote, would be these 3 airplanes. Maybe had I done a better job focusing on that, maybe it could have came out a little bit better. So as far as with this one, again, just like I said, the theme here, understanding the camera settings better. Because even though I have seen tutorials on how to properly capture a photo, case by case, there's one thing to look at a video and then there's another thing to actually go out and do it, right? But hopefully in my case, as I get more practice into these photos, as far as editing them, I'm hopefully getting better. But I will talk about that once we're done here. So maybe another thing that I see here, this background with the trees. Now, I don't know. I'm trying to recall. Maybe the background as far as how the trees were, maybe those were already underexposed. So when I exposed the photo, maybe that came into play and maybe that's why it looks kind of grainy, kind of looks kind of shitty, to be honest. But again, kind of fallen under the same thing that that I just wrote down, understanding more of the camera settings. That's really the gist of it. I don't know. I wouldn't want to write down familiarizing myself with Lightroom control or Lightroom tools, the ones that, the other tools that Lightroom has to offer, because that's that's already kind of I've already written down that roughly in all the photos. But I don't know, as far as maybe how this photo was, I think I actually did a pretty good job as far as adding the vignetting effect, which I think that actually came out really nice. I personally liked it. Maybe messing with the colors, especially with the greens. Again, had I what would I say? Had I gone out and actually attempted or at least tested out color grading or even tone curve for all that matters, even on this photo, maybe it could have been something different. Even though I've said it already like 10 times, I'm still gonna write it down because it doesn't hurt. But understand Lightroom. Lightroom tools. That's how I'm gonna put it. Understanding. That's something that I've been consistently telling myself. I need to get better with this. I need to experiment. That's the word. I need to experiment with different tools, because if I don't experiment or if I don't try, when in the hell am I gonna learn, right? That's one thing I really need to start prioritizing. I really need to start focusing, so that way here, even if it comes out shitty, I guess, even if it comes out shitty, hey, I can make the argument, as long as I'm experimenting and at least as I'm trying, I don't think that that would that would be a bad idea, right? But anyways, that's day 7. Now, day 8, which, if I recall correctly, this is the okay, yes. Now, earlier I did say that, what was it? The one in the house. Oh gosh, which one was that one? I think that was day 3. I did say that that one was my favorite one. However, I think this one, day 8, the one with the Volkswagen, I think this is by far one of the best photos. I actually really, really liked how the edited version came out. I really actually liked how it came out. I'm quite I'm kind of surprised with myself as I'm looking at it more. I'm kind of surprised with myself. So that's something I really do like. Again, really, really proud with myself with how it came out. But let's see if there's anything else I can. Because this one, I mean, you guys don't know about it, obviously, but in my camera roll, in my memory card, with this car in particular, before I got the proper the right photo, which is the one I used to edit it, I had taken roughly probably 15 photos before I got the right one, as far as with exposure, ISO, the f-stop, the shutter speed. I had taken 15 photos prior to getting this one. I really can't complain, because at the end of the day, I got the photo, the one I wanted, so I can't really complain. So let's see. As far as with day 8, let's see, one critique, even though I did say that I took, well, in this case, I wouldn't say familiarize myself with the camera settings, because man, I tell you, I took roughly 30 minutes on trying to get this fucking photo right, or at least decent. So I wouldn't write that down for this day, because I took my sweet ass time trying to get this car to my liking, which it was easier said than done, right? So I wouldn't say that. But I'm sure, and especially like what I said in the video, I had taken inspiration from a guy in Instagram that primarily focuses on car photography. Had I probably looked at their tutorial a little bit more, especially if I knew that I was going to be editing this, maybe I could have done something different. So one thing I can put here, I wouldn't say typical, familiarize yourself with Lightroom. However, I would put just understand the techniques. Understand the techniques. The techniques. The what else would you say? I wouldn't say secrets. Damn, I'm drawing a blank right now. I guess understand the techniques slash the proper way. The proper way on editing cars or vehicles. So mostly how would I resolve that? Looking at tutorials, that's basically how it is. Again, in my case, it was the guy on Instagram, which if I recall, I think is Life Through Optic. He's a really, really nice content creator. I give him huge props to what he's doing. Really, really, really nice guy. And in some way, shape, or form, I primarily don't focus on car photography, but if I was really interested and really intrigued on car photography, that guy would definitely be my inspiration. So, big shout outs to him. Let's see. Understand the techniques slash the proper way to edit cars. Yeah. Because I know with his video, I mean, this guy not only comes out with really nice edits of cars, but what I like about him that I don't see not many people doing is that he goes into detail on how to properly utilize the Lightroom tools to come out with a fantastic edit. Who knows, maybe I should look more into that, but like I said, car photography, as far as right now, as it stands, it's not really something I'm looking into, but that may be something in the future. So let's see. I think with as far as right now, again, my first attempt with car photography, I don't think I did pretty bad. And considering the fact that I said it that this is probably one of my favorite photos, I think I like that. So maybe as far as right now, maybe that's all what I really got. All right, we had some fucking technical difficulties here. I didn't realize. I mean, I kind of had it before recording, but on my memory card, the one that I normally use for recording my videos, I had roughly 40 minutes left. And last time I checked on my camera, I had 3 minutes remaining. So I wanted to switch it out and kind of make sure so it doesn't cut off and I don't go on for the next 10 fucking minutes and not realize that it hasn't been recorded. So I think we should be good now, but that could have been a very, very shitty situation. So anyways, oh gosh, what was I saying before all this took place? Oh gosh. I think if last time I remember, I was just critiquing day 8, by far one of my favorite photos I've done. Just understanding more of car photography and how to edit car photography. That's basically what I put here. Understand the techniques and the proper ways to edit cars. And by doing that, watching tutorials, or in my case, looking at the guy that I see on Instagram, right? As far as day 9, my most recent one. So this one, it's going to be rather interesting because you would expect one of my recent work to be by far the best one for me, right? Well, I don't think that is going to be the case in this, in my case at least, because already off the bat, and I don't know why I didn't even see it when it was taking place, but this photo, probably again due to the fact that I didn't have my tripod, which probably that can already be a first point. Prepare myself better. I wouldn't say with camera settings, but at this point just with camera equipment. You know, making sure you have the right lens, or in this case, that you even have a fucking tripod, right? So just equipment. Now, again, what I was gonna say, the biggest problem that I didn't really pay much attention to, it was only after the fact. This photo, it is too fucking grainy. Too fucking grainy. One easy solution how I could have prevented this is like I've stated previously just right now. Had I came with a tripod, probably things could have been different. How would I put it? With camera equipment. I guess just prepare more the camera settings. Prepare the camera settings better. I don't know what shutter speed I used to take this photo, but I think it was one that it was questionable. Now, on that as well, even though I've been repeating this multiple times, but I kind of already was expecting this to be a continuous note that I've been taking. Understanding more Lightroom. I mean, I've been saying that for roughly all of my photos, but that's just the truth, because the more I understand Lightroom, the more I can affect, change, adjust the photo in any case scenario, right? And how am I gonna do that if I don't know what I'm doing in Lightroom? So that's definitely one thing I definitely need to tell myself, hey, I need to get better with this. Understanding the tools in Lightroom. Now, anything else I see from here? If we're removing the graininess from this photo, if we're removing the fact that I need to work more on towards Lightroom, I wouldn't say this. I mean, it really has sounded like I've really been shitting on this photo, but like at the end of the day, I've stated I still like these photos. It's a whole learning curve. It's a learning process. That's why I put this as a journey, right? Because I wasn't planning on being perfect from the start. I knew there was going to be days, like for example, the last video from day 9 was probably one of my, as far as right now, my all-time favorite photos that I've edited. To go from highs like that to, I wouldn't say lows to like this, but in a way lows like this, I was kind of expecting that to occur. But anyways, now I think that wraps up all of the photos I've taken. Now, the main takeaway of this video, again, this is probably, I've kind of, like I've stated in day 1, there's a reason why I do these videos. Again, for you guys that are watching, if you guys would like to follow along, the option is there. But for me, and especially how I'm seeing it for primarily this video, it's personal reasons as well. It's kind of, I wouldn't say evidence, but it's, how can I say this? It's progression. It's progression. It's so I can have an idea on how far I've quote unquote progressed and I've quote unquote gotten better, which with each passing day. I mean, I can tell you I've probably done better since day one. Who knows? Who knows? Again, it's all for me personally for me, it's record keeping. I want to see how much I've improved, or at least improved, right? So personally, that's why I make these videos, and why do I upload them on YouTube? Hell, for anyone that would want to follow along. Who knows? Maybe they might be inspired by what I'm doing, and maybe they'll start their photography journey. I don't know, right? But that's why I would like to continue doing this. Now that I've kind of looked back, I've taken notes on what I need to work on. As far as for the next set of videos, I think primarily what I'm going to try to focus on is, like I've stated previously, trying to take more interesting photos. Because these kind of have been a little bit generic in a way. Have they been interesting? I don't know, questionable. Have they been good? Questionable. So maybe that's also, you know what, let me write that down. Just so as far as me keep going along with what I've been writing. Let me do this. Let me write the following. For the next 9 to 10 videos, my goals are the following. Point 1, take better / interesting photos. Examples could be nighttime photography, more practice on nighttime photography, and then one that I'm probably gonna experiment more on. I don't know the right term, but testing long exposure, because I've seen you can get some really nice photos decreasing the shutter speed, having your camera more time to take the photo, if that makes sense. So that can be one. Another one, and it's primarily the biggest one so far for the next set of 9 to 10 videos. Understanding / practicing. And I would also put / experimenting some, if not all, Lightroom tools. That is primarily the biggest goal I'm setting myself for the next set of 10 videos or 9 videos. I want to experiment with different tools and see what I can do. Because these past couple of 9 videos, it's basically been copy and paste. That's basically been, I guess, the theme for these past couple of 9 videos. So primarily, that's what I'm gonna put. That's what I'm gonna put in Lightroom. Understanding. And then who knows, maybe personally, okay, for the next set of 10 videos, as far as, we've talked about the photography basis. As far as what I'm doing right now, make the videos more interesting, because I have seen myself kind of, I guess, boring in a way, which I've been kind of like that. Maybe I need to be more social. I don't know. That's how I'm just gonna put it. Make the videos more interesting. Make the videos more interesting, intriguing, etc., etc., right? Because I'm sure for you guys sitting there for 20, 30, possibly 40 minutes at a time, just listening to me speak while moving some sliders may not be the best video, but it's just a little observation that I've noted. So interesting. Make the videos more interesting for the viewers. That's how I'm gonna put it. Now, take better / interesting photos, nighttime or long exposure, understanding / practicing / experimenting some, if not all, Lightroom tools. Make the videos more interesting for the viewers. That is primarily, as far as right now, the 3 main goals I'm setting myself and I'm gonna have in my mind for the next set of videos. And hopefully roughly around day 20 or so, depending, the next time I sit down and I analyze the work that I've done, will probably then I would see, have I been doing a good job or not, right? But as far as right now, for the next set of 10, or at this point, however many videos, until I make another video like this of just sitting down, analyzing what I've done, that's what the 3 goals that I'm gonna be primarily focusing on. So how much will I stick to my word? I don't know, but I'm gonna, if one thing's for sure, I'm gonna, at least for damn sure, try to make the effort into not only for you guys having more interesting photos and videos, but making this journey a little bit more interesting / fun in a way, more creative, I guess. Who knows? It's something I'm gonna have to look into. But as far as 10 videos in, I really wasn't expecting to make it this far, really. It's been already quite the journey, and I kind of can't wait to see where the next 10, 20, hell, even 100 videos will look like. Maybe by then I'm actually gonna properly. Maybe by then I'm actually gonna properly have a good photo on my Instagram. Who knows? So, but as far as right now, I think that's really all what I have. As far as for these goals, hopefully they should already start in the next video, on day 11. Anyways, that's really all I got for today. I appreciate you sitting down. I'm pretty sure this is going to be roughly the longest video I've done, but I'm going to try my best to cut it short, although how true is that? I'm not sure. Anyways, I'll see you guys next video.